Juliano. Hi. First of all, thank you that you were ready to receive us. It's really exceptional that we could come to see you here in San Diego, and probably more interesting for us than doing the same thing in Zurich. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a very interesting topic to talk about coaching, because I think there are a lot of different views out there and different perceptions. And my first question I wanted to ask you is, do you remember the day or the incident when it came to you that you really knew that you are made for this job?
It's interesting, coaching kind of came natural to me. As we spoke before, we had a chat. It's something that I've been an athlete before my whole life, pretty much. And then I just felt the connection with people. And with all different people, it started with kids really, but I just felt the connection with people, and I had something to really give, and that made a difference. And I realized, I would like to take this a little more serious and really help people. So it just worked out natural. It was very organic in a way.
So you think it's a gift you already had with you? You carried with you without knowing that you have it.
I truly believe that to be good or successful in something, you have to be gifted. And I do think I have somehow a gift to coach people. And we can talk more about this, but I'm not super strict or one-sided. And I think that really helps me. And it has to be something that you carry with you. And I think I have something to offer people in that sense.
I mean, there is this belief that kids choose their parents. This.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And is it similar that do you choose your athletes, or do the athletes choose you, or is it a bilateral process?
It can be complex, that answer, but I do think, as you said, people that you connect with, they are drawn into you. If the energy is right, then the connection is right, and then you can work well together. But if you sit down with people and you talk, and if somebody looks for me and they approach me, if I feel the energy is not right, and if I feel their ideas and their approach is not really what I believe, then it's not for me. There's a ton of people out there, but I do in a way choose it. I have the power to choose because now I've been more known, but I think it has to be the right fit, yeah. But I can also choose it.
So you're not obliged to make concessions?
No. It works well.
And so that means you have a very profound talk with your client before.
For me, I don't advertise anywhere. I don't put myself in magazines or anything like that. I don't. Other than I have a little bit of networking, but my clients or the people that I work with, they come from people that worked with me in the past, and I truly helped them or in some way, and then and they pass it on, and then people are like, well, I really like your style, I really like this friend, and he talked about you, and I think it could be a good fit. And then I sit down with these people, and we kind of have a nice chat, a friendly chat, and if it clicks and I like their energy and I like the challenge and I think I can help them, then I take on the task, or I say, this is not going to work for me because there's something that it's not right in that conversation and that doesn't strike like it would be successful.
And do you work on a goal with your let's say clients, because it's not necessarily athletes? And is it more a process and it comes to a natural end, or do you have also people you just accompany them without any time limit?
we always sit down and set goals with everybody I work with. We always have goals. If your goal, you know, as we spoke before, I have all kinds of people that I work with. I have professional top athletes that I work with. I have people that are, you know, age groupers that want to be better and still perform in triathlons. And then I have people that, and to me, they're all the same. We're all people, we're all the same. It doesn't matter what your goal is. If you have a goal and we connect, then we have something good. But I have people that just want to lose weight and they can't, you know. And I have people that just want a nice, healthy lifestyle to put together with their work environment or whatever job that they have. So, but we always have a plan and we have a goal, and I want to know what their goals are, and then together we create goals, and that's how we go about it. But everybody's different. How I work with everyone is very unique and different. I have a very different relationship with every client that I work with. Even in a friendship level, it's all different, but they're all great relationships that I built. Otherwise, you can't do a good job if you can't build a good relationship.
So the time is not playing such an important role.
No, I don't have a set time that I'm going to work with that person. I don't have how many hours a week or anything like that. We kind of start, we have a goal, a 3 to 6 months goal, and then from there we build or we step back, or it's very go with the flow in whatever the needs are for them and between us. Yeah.
When you work on let's say a plan, it's not necessarily a training plan, as I got to, it's a plan more to become healthy or to find goals. Do you have certain cues or that you are focusing on when you are, let's say, analyzing your client?
Yeah, we again, everything is so different and unique. That's why it's so hard to put a title on everything that we're talking about. But I do have ways to go about it, and mainly is really life. And it sounds silly, but it's truly. If you are a very hardcore athlete, I still try to tone you down and find a balance for you, because you could be hardcore in everything you do in life, but I think that limits the time of whatever that thing that you're doing. Like if you're an athlete, you could be maybe 5-10% better if you're super strict for 3 years, but that shortens your life, your life in doing that sport. And so I like to look at things with a more wide angle, which is life. You want a more balanced life. You want to have a life outside of whatever you're doing. You want to be healthy, consistency, but everything you do has to be all like a flow within life. It can't be strict with anything.
Is there a huge difference, or is there a difference between the pro athlete or an ambitious age grouper, let's say, in triathlon?
No, not really. I mean, there's details, and we can get into a long conversation about this, but we're all the same, and for an age grouper, they need to find whatever balance is good for them. A pro athlete, a hardcore, only driven by performance athlete, they need to find a balance in what works for them. If you're going to nick and pick, yes, they probably train more. There are certain things that are very different, but you're trying to format a little balanced lifestyle thing going for an age group and for a professional athlete, or for a guy that's trying to lose 30, 40 pounds, or whatever it is. It's the same format for everyone. We're all the same. Yeah.
And the word balance, since when is it part of your vocabulary, and what is it? When do you see, or what is it that you can say, now this guy has found his or her balance?
I don't think it's a work. It's a non-stop working thing that you have to do for the rest of your life. There's not a day that you get. I got to a place in my life that this is enough. You get to a place and you're like, I found somewhere of a balance, and you can always improve. You can always find more quality on relationships or on your sports, daily in and out, daily routine, and you can never settle. I think so. There's never a point.
It's a lifelong process.
It's a
work.
life. Yeah.
But have you met something like that? You have been accused that this is too soft. This term balance, that people don't understand what you mean.
I think, and that's why I'm. There's people that I think I have the connection. There's a crowd that it's drawn to me, and vice versa. There's people that are there that I can really help, and that's what I'm here for. There's people that I can help, and maybe I am too soft for certain people, or maybe I can be sometimes too hard for other people, and that's not for me. There's other people out there for them,
Okay, you have been talking about soft and hard.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible for you to give a concrete example?
Mm-hmm.
What is soft for you and what is hard?
What's soft for me? I've been accused of being soft many times, and sometimes I'm accused of being strict. To me, soft is for example, if I'm working with someone and there's a level of understanding and being honest with each other. If I tell you, hey, today we gotta do, you have to go out and do so many hours on the bike. If you're truly not feeling well, you have to tell me, and then we back off, But if you tell me a lie and you say I feel a certain way and you really don't, that's being soft. And that's being soft, and I'm not. People misunderstand soft and hard. So I don't think I'm soft. I just approach things differently. I think that's a good example, but I don't know if that makes sense to you.
It makes sense to me, and I think you are a person who never sees things black and white.
Yes, I think that you can't, in life, but.
Anyway, you have been, or how you express yourself. I mean, I think it shows what you mean when you're talking about coaching. Can you anyway summarize it, the term or the word coaching, what it means to you and what it is? Because there's a lot out there. It's a very trendy word.
Yes, yes. To me, coaching is it's finding the right. For me, it's finding the right balance between two people. But coaching is guiding people the right way between your connection. If I connect with someone and in a really good level, I'm able to coach them through things. But I need to get to know people in a very deep level. That's why I don't like working with too many people at once. I think you need to spend time with people. It's important to become friends, learn their weaknesses, their strengths, learning their head, picking, pressing the right buttons on people. There are certain things that how to tell people when you want a certain reaction. And I need to learn that about people. So to me, it's very deep to coach someone. Coaching is a deep thing. It's not just I tell you what to do and you go out and repeat. And I tell that person what to do. It's the same formula. It's very unique for every single person. It has to be built within their personality and your friendship. And
do you see yourself as a kind of a therapist as well?
It's interesting because a lot of people that approach me too, they use you as a therapist. They tell their problems to you, and in a way, I feel like a therapist. In a way, I do, because I love helping. I love giving options. and finding solutions to problems, regardless if it's to do with what we're doing physically or not. You know?
Did you work on certain techniques for yourself? First of all, how methods how you can help, and how do you cope with all the? I mean, it's quite some loads you get on your body as well. How to digest this, because I can think it's also sometimes heavy on your system.
It can be sometimes, but I think when you feel like you help people. To me, helping people it feels great, and when you have an ability to do certain things and you see the feedback, then I think it takes a little bit of that load off of you. But it's I forgot the beginning of what you said.
Yeah, you have for yourself certain techniques how
Yes.
to.
Well, I think my mom is very responsible for the way I am. You know, I grew up with my mom being very Zen type, very into the mind and how it connects to the body, meditation and all that. So I grew up with a lot of that and believing in that and experiencing a lot of that early on, which back then it was a very unknown thing. You know, people are crazy that think about this mind power and this whole, you know. So I think that was the first steps that took me to the right direction, you know.
Did your way of coaching then change over time due to your own experiences?
Yeah, you know, everybody is a certain way, and I learned a lot from a lot of different people, and I developed my own way of coaching based on my beliefs and based on the results and the feedback that I get from people. Seeing, you know, this really works and this has an impact on people, not just physically but mentally, and you can see sometimes how the mental really takes over and all that. It's all connected, you know.
When you are having an athlete who is really focusing on performance, like for example Ronnie, and you put a certain program in place.
We right away take him back to the basics. It happened with me and Ronnie last year, just by chatting and spending time together here and training camps. Sometimes the athlete or the person gives you the answer. They have all the answers. They're telling you. And you're like, you're not listening to yourself. You're just saying, you know, I used to do this, this, and that, and I had great results. I'm like, well, there's the answer. We go back to the basics. We go back to when you had fun. We go back to when you were doing things more with your heart, and you didn't really care or had much expectations.
And is it difficult to go back for guys?
Some people, everybody's different, but some people, they have, you know, like they go into a place and it's really hard to go back. But it's, again, you need time together. You need time to work those issues out. But it's not easy.
But it's this, let's say, unwinding people. If you look at time, I mean, how long time do you give yourself, or how to apply a certain method or a certain way of doing things, and then you say, no, now I think it's time we have to change this or adjust this kind of a parameter? Or
if I would put a timeline, you know, people, it's very fast. People change it very quickly when things come from your heart and things are very natural like that. The changes are quick, actually. And when you talk to people and you listen to them and you let them talk and really, how do you say it? Like let it out, let all that out. Things change quite quick. Sometimes people turn around in 2-3 months, things very fast, you know, and then and they can keep it that way.
so
for longer.
Stable,
It stays longer with them for a lifetime, you know.
Because I just asked this question because if I look at, for example, swimming technique, and there you have one movement that you were doing for so many years, and you say, no, you have to change this. when you look at this, how long does a body really take if you want to change little?
Physically, things can change fast. I mean, it could be between a month and 3 months physically, but for things to stick, they have to change it in your head first, and that's why things starts in your head. You know, it doesn't. If somebody just is focused on technique, swimming, like you're saying, oh, how long is it going to take me for me to change my stroke? You know, my arm that's not right, like you're saying. Well, if we can change your head and change your approach and change everything else, we don't need to focus so much on that. That will be a result.
So you don't focus on the arm, but on the whole
we
body.
We do, but we don't let that consume us. I don't let that be what you're thinking when you go to bed every night. You know, like, oh, I have to get that arm straight. I have to get... No, we do the drills we need to do. We work on the things we need to work. But, you know, we try to adjust and have a balance so you're not obsessed about it.
So it's more you try to teach them to improve their whole body perception? Or?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, it's a whole package. Yeah.
And do you do some kind of an analysis after?
Our checkpoints. So, yeah, you know, like I said, we have goals. And I try to break the year. If I'm going to work with someone for a year, I say, you know what, we will break, you know, in three months, you know, a quarter, in quarters. But within those quarters, we have goals every month, things that we achieve. It's like a big ladder, you know, one step at a time. But yeah, we do have the eye and the big picture, but we break it apart.
Do you have certain things you monitor regularly with your athletes or with your clients?
I do, and they're all so different. Like I said to you, so if I have somebody that wants to,
let's say somebody
just lose weight.
This is a good example.
We monitor things very closely.
Yeah. Is it weight or is it something
we
completely
monitor diet.
else? Yeah.
We monitor. I mean, everything that you're eating, we try to be very close. Mm-hmm. We just try a softer approach, but we do monitor diet. We monitor your weight every week. We monitor the exercise, the intake calories and the output calories. All those things. And for a professional athlete, yeah, we monitor the hours that we work. On the bike, on running, swimming, your rest, injury prevention, everything we monitor. But everybody is different. Some people train more, some people less. Some people have to be more on top of them. Mm-hmm. Some people can be more relaxed. Some people I know what to say to get the result that I want out of them. Some people I don't have to so much.
Do you look at a pattern then if you are doing this?
Everybody has their own pattern. And I know their pattern because I get to know them very well. So I know, like Ronnie, I know how he reacts when we do a big load of training. I know how much training, how much rest he needs, how much talk we have to have. And that goes for a guy that's just trying to get fitness, fit in, work with fitness and so forth.
So, I mean, more or less what I get out of what you're saying, that there is no one way, so you have to have... It's
really hard to put a title on things or to measure things because it's so unique. It's really, really unique.
I love it. No devices, recommend devices?
I cannot tell you. Yeah. You know, Ronnie's way of doing things with me is we have our way and it's very unique. And it changes every year. Some years we measure things one way, and we measure things sometimes different ways. And with just somebody that wants to incorporate fitness and health into their lifestyle with all the work that 8 hours of work a day, it's also different and it changes. And you have to allow people sometimes to step back and relax and gain a few pounds or not train so much. Their body's asking for it, and you have to respect that. So there's not a way to measure or a title or something I can say specifically. Yeah.
Does it happen that you are getting into a conflict between, that there are conflicts in perception between you and your client, and how do you solve these kind of conflicts of perception, or are they just listening to you? Or are they,
there's hiccups here and there. I mean, there's
positive ones. I mean, a positive.
Yeah, and we learn together. Sometimes you come to a point with an athlete or a client or anyone that they need change. You need to change something. And when things get kind of stuck and the energy is not right, then you sense, like we need to change, or we need to just not do this anymore, or we need to do more of that, or sometimes you just need to go separate ways, and it's okay. It's okay. My job is done, and you can either go forward or we change things together.
If we talk about change, this would be. I just have something which interests me, what it means for you to change when you say, let's say you have certain features of a person in mind, whether it's the way of eating, the way of sleeping, the way of listening to music, reading a book, whatsoever. What kind of a portfolio do you have for where you say, here we do change and here we have to change to get this kind of relaxing and getting back to the flow, into the flow?
And you tell me if I'm answering your question, but sometimes you have, I believe that sometimes you have to say, you have to be real. Okay, if you're someone, for example, I have a guy that I work with, he was 320 pounds. And blood pressure up to the roof. All kinds of, he was a ticking bomb. A guy like that, I'm like, I know what you need to do, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be a gradual work, slowly. But his issues are deeper than just that. But I'm not going to get into that. That's just. But I know we need to get into a plan where we monitor everything, we eat a certain amount of food, and we put out a certain amount of energy to burn a certain amount of calories. I know that. We can't escape from that. Now, how we do that can be soft and nicely, and you know what I mean? How we do the work, building this house. You can build this house, go to work, be hardcore, or you can do it in 10 years. And you can start from the back or from the front. How you do it, there's several ways to do it, and that's my approach, how you do things.
This is what
there's certain, you got to be real. We got to build this house, we got to build the house.
It's not so much the what, it's the how.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
essential.
Yeah, I know what we have to do. Now, how we go about it is, I have a way of doing it. So.
This is exactly how I see it. I thank you very much, because I think this is so important. We can ask a lot of what questions, but in the end, it's the how, because we won't escape that we have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you. Did I miss anything? You want to add something?
No, it's very nice to be here with you and have you around. I love, like I said, I think we also have been drawn to each other for a reason. I like the company, I like Biestmilch so much. The brand, the energy that goes around it with the athletes. It starts with the logo for me, But there's a huge energy behind it that just it's like you swallow people, and that's the love and the whole good energy behind it.
And I think it's your approach to coaching is very similar to how I work with Biestmilch.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, yes, exactly, and why I have the same problems when I'm talking about balance and about this how I talk with patients, clients, about how to dose it.
You have a lot more knowledge than me in life and everything else. I learned from you guys, and I learned from you and from the brand and from the energy, and I feed off of it, and that's why it's such a big family. I think it's great.
It's great, yeah. It's a
real
privilege to have this.
Thank you.
I thank you very much, because I think you are really an asset and a very, very
I hope
gain for the whole project.
Thank you.
Thanks.